watching PowerNation.
Today on Music City Trucks, we go to see a man about some horsepower and get a bass line for our new Ram 1500 project.
Everything is in one piece.
That sounded good.
Plus, we make some cosmetic upgrades to transform this truck from a daily driver to a rough and ready workhorse.
This has got to be the most iconic design. Hey everybody, welcome to Music City Trucks. I'm Mark Christ.
And I'm Eric Smart, and today we're not in our own shop, as you can see.
That's right, we're down here at Engine Power, and a special thanks to Pat and Frankie for letting us come down here and crash their chassis.
I heard our names.
Yeah, we love it when you guys bring stuff down. It's always fun to see like what you end up with and then see what you guys do with it in the end.
Well, we've got ourselves a new truck. Well, new to us.
Doesn't look new.
New-ish. It's a 2013 Ram 1500 Bighorn with all the fancy stuff on it.
Oh.
5.7 truck.
Yep, 5.7 HEMI, and we're not entirely sure what we're doing with it yet, but we know we're gonna try and squeeze a little bit more power out of that thing.
How many miles?
167.
Ooh, okay, so kind of getting up there, but bone stock, right?
Yep.
This is like some sort of factory lightweight option or whatever.
Yeah, we have the Fender, but it's kind of dangerous to
Okay, all right.
drive it around the
We'll buy
building.
it. Well, it
with
doesn't need that to chassis dyno, so.
No. What do you guys think this is gonna make? Because like I don't even know what these things make factory.
At least 50. But that's why
who's
we're
on
here.
the pedals? He is?
Eric's doing it.
Ooh, have you ever chassis dynoed anything?
No.
Oh, stand over here.
We'll stand in the zone over here, safety zone.
Is the brake off back there?
You got that.
You got that in your hand.
So the red button turns on the brake.
When it's on, the brake's on.
I am already scared.
Yep. So turn off the brake.
There we go. Okay. Got it? Yeah, I got it now.
There you go. Woo! All right. Woo! Yeah. That is your first successful dyno pull.
Everything is in one piece.
That sounded good.
256, 245 for torque, 256 for power, 245.
I mean,
it probably might need a little bit of oil temp in it, you know. We might be able to get some more out of it, but
that's your first one. Because if you roll into the throttle too light, it'll skew your number. If you actually have it downshift, it'll skew your number.
Yeah.
Make another pull. You know, you might pick up.
What happens.
All right, let's do it again. All right, here we go.
There we go. See?
nice. 268 horse and 275 pound-feet.
What was the horsepower number?
268.
That's not bad.
That's
not good.
not spectacular for a truck this big, but
And it still has oil pressure. So I'm gonna
That's
call
even
that a
better.
win.
Good
heck
enough.
yeah.
All right.
It's a good start. Let's go with that.
That's what I was gonna say.
Well, we've got room to improve, right? I think that's the important thing.
I think that it will be no problem improving that next time it's hooked to this.
I think rather than saying we have room to improve, you have room to improve. Because I'm going on vacation, but I will be back. Promise, I'll be back. But not until this is done, at least. I was reminded that I haven't been on vacation in a couple of years, so I gotta go. I need it.
All right. Well, we'll see you when you get back.
Yeah, good luck.
I'm gonna need it.
Well,
But-
if you need any help,
If you do need help, I know somebody who could probably help you out with this.
whatever, we're more than willing to come
Seriously,
over and help you.
an extra set of eyes, hands,
Yep.
some technical consulting, all that stuff. But I think you got it handled.
All right. Should be clear the rest of the way out, man.
All right. Well, we saw what it can do on the dyno. Now we gotta go road test this thing.
Oh, nice. Are you going right now?
Yeah, you wanna come on?
Do I get to drive?
Maybe.
I'm in. All right, let's go.
All right. I'm kind of surprised that this thing handled those dyno pulls as well as it did for, having this many miles.
You know, the outside kind of gave me a bad impression, but the inside is not bad. But it ran good on the dyno. It made pretty good power, pretty much what we expected, so this thing is relatively solid, it seems.
Yeah, and I mean, I think, coupling some well thought out, mild performance upgrades with, some regular maintenance just to make sure it's all caught up, I think, you know, you'll get a better driving experience out of it at the end of the day.
Maybe you do a little tweaking, maybe a tune, exhaust, something like that, where you squeak a little bit more out of this thing and just, you know, help it live a little bit better life.
Well, I gotta say, I am pretty impressed with how this thing drives. You know, I'm used to things that are a little bit older and bumpier. This is pretty smooth.
It's a pretty solid truck. There is that noise, which we at some point should probably check, make sure it actually is just something minor and not, you know, something we need to get a ton of parts for. But we'll just pull over here, we'll check it out.
We'll cut off right here and see what she's doing.
Yeah, let's give her a look.
All right, well, we're gonna make sure that there's nothing crazy going on with this thing. So, you know, it's no worse for wear just yet, but we did have a little bit of a noise coming from the front.
Yep, I think
it's probably definitely this inner fender right here. Because you're not really supposed to drive around without a fender on.
Not really, but
it's not illegal.
It's good to know it's not major. That's all we want to know, is that it's nothing major, and that's easy to fix. I'm not worried about that. So heck yeah. All right,
let's get this thing back to the shop and we'll dig into it.
I'm driving back.
Oh, that's right.
Scoot over.
Heck yeah. Coming up next,
we'll crank it over, see where the gauge stops, and see what we get.
We dig into our Ram project and run some tests to make sure it's in good shape. All right, well, we got this thing back here to the shop, and it made it in one piece. So we're looking pretty good so far. It ran great on the dyno, and it did pretty good on the road too. But I want to make sure before we start putting parts on this that we're going to be able to squeeze another 100,000 miles out of this thing. And, you know, the best way to do that, I think, is going to be doing some deeper checks on this.
Yeah, I mean,
get into it.
The engine felt strong, you know, it drove great. There's a few things we can look at just to make sure that it's in good sound condition. So we can do a crank compression test, and we can do a leak down test. And they're pretty simple to do, and it'll give us a good idea of what the inside of the cylinder looks like, whether this thing has some, you know, abnormal wear, or if it still has some sealage in it.
Well, I got some tools here, and it looks like you brought some goodies of your own.
Heck yeah, I grabbed the compression tester and the leak down tester. I figure we'll start with the compression test because it's pretty easy to do, and it'll give us a good idea if the cylinder can actually build pressure.
All right, awesome. Well, while you get started on that, I'm gonna go, I got one more thing I gotta do before I dig into this with you. So
I'll be
right back. How's it going in here? I wanted to make sure you feel at home while you're over here helping us out. So,
I see that.
You know.
I like how you've gone with the dual pockets. Is that a bolt? What are you doing?
Well, you never know when you might need a bolt.
That is true. I can't contest with that. I like the stash. You remind me of someone I know. Who is that?
I don't know, I can't quite put my finger on it.
Me neither. I don't know. Looks good though. It's a good look.
How's this going?
Pretty good. I'm just gonna pop this coil out here, and then we'll pull one of the spark plugs, disconnect the rest of the coils, and we can crank the engine over. So take that out. Obviously it has some miles on it. It's been in there for a while. But I mean, all in all, not too bad, which is what you expect from a late model vehicle.
All right, you just about ready?
Yep, got them all unhooked, so we can hop in there and we'll crank it over, see where the gauge stops and see what we get.
All right, before we do that, I think I gotta take this off. It's a little bit itchy.
Oh my gosh, it's Eric. I thought that was Pat.
I don't know how Pat wears one of those all day.
All right, go for it. That's good. Yeah, that's actually pretty good. And this is a 2013, so these have, I think, variable cam timing, which will be advanced, so that will make it be a little bit higher than what you would normally expect. But I'd call that 205, which is still really good for an engine with this many miles. So I think we move on. Got our cylinder set at TDC on compression stroke, and then we'll hook these up together like that. We'll set it back to 100 PSI on the pressure side, and then this other gauge basically tells us how much we're leaking out. So we're 2% under 100, so we're basically has 2% leak down, which is really good, especially for an engine with this many miles.
Frankie assured me that everything was good with the truck, so I went ahead and ordered some parts. Now, of course, we went to Rock Auto because where else are you gonna go when you've got something that's got a little bit of age to it and you need a whole lot of parts? Now, they really do have everything that your car will ever need, you know, all the way from something as simple as a drain plug up to full-size body panels and accessories. So we bought a whole bunch of stuff just to catch this thing up on all the maintenance points. That way we can make sure that it's gonna stay in good shape under the hood. Of course, some, you know, to replace that fender that is mysteriously missing, a couple of new bumpers, some running boards, and new grille, tailgate, and all new lighting, door handles, and mirrors. Now, why would we do all of this? Because these newer model trucks, I'm a huge fan of chrome, don't get me wrong, but I don't think it really fits in as well on these as it does on something a little bit older. So we're gonna be getting rid of every bit of chrome on that truck, and we're gonna be using Rock Auto parts to do it. We got our parts, and we're gonna start with some of the easier stuff. We're gonna get these mirrors and exterior door handles put on. Like that. There's one off. I need a shave. Now with all that out of the way, it's a lot easier to get in here and get these bolts out so we can get the door handle off. There we go. Now it's time to transfer this rod over to the new handle, and then we'll get them switched out. And I think that that's looking better already. So we'll move on, get the other 3 doors and mirror done. Maybe take these badges off and then move on to the bigger, better, and more fun stuff. Next up, we toss out the old and step up the look and feel of this truck. It's never fun trying to put a bumper on by yourself. Well, we're back with our 2013 Ram refresh that's getting going pretty well so far with the mirrors and the door handles that we've already replaced. You know, we went ahead, removed the door badging while we were at it. Now it's time to move on to what we're doing to the rest of the exterior of this truck, including bumpers, grille, lighting, among a few other things. Now, with that, we've got this fender that actually came on the truck, and this is why you haven't seen it, because it was way too far gone to actually drive the truck with it installed. And now that can go away so that we can move on working from front to back, getting the rest of this chrome taken off and getting a way better look out of this truck. With our disassembly finished here in the front, we're ready to move along with getting the new stuff put on, and that includes our not so shiny bumper, the brand new headlights, and a second fender so that it'll be a complete truck again. We've got 2 fenders again. Grill put on here. It's never fun trying to put a bumper on by yourself. Well, that bumper might have been a little bit of a pain, but doing these running boards should be quite a bit easier. There we go. Seems pretty solid to me. All right, well, we've got the front and the sides of the truck done, which means all that's left is taking care of the back end here with our new toolbox, bumper to match the front, fancy new lights, and a replacement tailgate to get rid of that dent. Now, there's definitely a problem here because it shouldn't do that. So we're gonna get started getting this tailgate out of the way. I'm gonna start getting this toolbox put on. Then we'll come back and vacuum this out later. Plug these separately. Whoa. There we go. My best advice to you, if you plan on installing bumpers on your truck, get a friend who's not gonna be on vacation while you're doing it. Well, we have both our old and our new tailgate here, and we ordered just a shell for the new tailgate, which means all of the components off of this one, including the latches, the backup camera, and the handle, all have to get transferred to the new one right here. So that's what we're gonna be doing now. It's pretty simple, you know, just a few basic tools, a couple of Torx bits, and some sockets, and you'll be on your way. All right, now that we've got the old tailgate torn apart and got everything ready to go into this new one, we're gonna get this out of the way. There's that. Let's see how she does. Wow, that was easy. All right, well, now that our cosmetics are done, it's time for us to get back under the hood. Coming up. Oh, not my floor. We perform some basic maintenance and make a few upgrades under the hood. Well, we're back with this 2013 Ram 1500, and we just got done with all of our body modifications, which means it's time to get under the hood and move on with all of our regular maintenance. So we got Frankie back in here, and he's gonna be helping us out with this. Where are we starting at here?
Well, I know we're doing like all the coolant flush and, you know, fluid change, that kind of stuff. I was just getting everything disconnected, but I think we'll start with draining the coolant. That always takes a while, and then we'll go from there.
Oh, not my floor.
That's why I don't work on cars.
Engine guys come in here making a mess.
I hate I'm gonna smell like antifreeze for the rest of the day.
To start out, we'll remove the air filter and housing, as well as the serpentine belt. Then we can top this back off once we get done underneath. We'll just fill everything
Yeah, fill
all
everything at once, yeah.
All right, up we go. Well, after that mess that Frankie made with the coolant, I'm not taking any chances getting this oil on myself. So we're just gonna be safe. That's how you stay clean, Frankie. That really does smell pretty good.
Yeah, I mean,
impressive for the mileage here.
I've definitely smelt worse.
With the transmission pan removed, we can take the old filters out and replace them with new ones. The pan itself isn't too bad, but the magnet's got a little bit of fuzz on there, which is pretty normal. Clean that out. And drop our new magnet in. We're gonna spray this out and put it back on. After we install the new filters, Frankie added a new gasket onto the pan. Let's get this pan back on here. Then we can bolt it back together, alternating corners for even torque. You gotta remember, this is trucks. We're not all crazy precise over here like you are next door.
Well, I mean, you don't have to be super precise to do it right. You just gotta do it, you know, right.
Now that the actual work is done, we can add our fluids. Get this bad boy filled up.
If I can do this without spilling it everywhere.
It said 7, it gets 7. Well, we're almost done here with our under hood maintenance, and there's just a couple more things we need to do, and that includes replacing the spark plugs and putting a new air filter in it. And instead of just going with some OE components, we went to Holley to get an upgrade in both of those areas. We picked up a Flowmaster Delta Force cold air intake, as well as MSD Iridium spark plugs, and since the truck is high miles, a set of MSD blaster coils that are gonna last the rest of the life of this truck. After we get our new plugs put in, we can throw in the new MSD coils. right, well, Frankie, while you were in here getting those plugs and coils done, I went in and got the cold air box assembled.
Nice.
So we can get this dropped in, and I think we should be almost done under here.
Yeah, we'll get that slid in there. I got one of the bolts here, and the other one's right there, so give her a go.
You come prepared, huh?
Oh yeah, it's a lot easier that way.
Oh, you were right about that dust cover. That does look a lot better.
Yeah, and we're not gonna be like driving this thing through the desert or anything, but it's still gonna help maybe extend the life of that filter, keeping bugs and that kind of stuff out of it. So function and form.
Awesome. And I mean, we got new plugs and coils, fresh service on everything. And I'm pretty sure that we're gonna get another 160 out of this thing. No
Oh yeah,
problem.
yeah. This truck is now gonna have an even longer, hard abused life, and you know, especially with like the upgraded plugs and coils and stuff, this thing's gonna run great.
All right, well, that's our time for the day. We know this thing's gonna stay reliable, and it looks a heck of a lot better than it did when it showed up here. So the next time you see it, we're gonna go ahead and take it up a notch.
Maybe even 2.